Levi, and this is The Horror Show. It is week 22, and we're continuing the Evil Dead franchise with the 2013 remake, Evil Dead. Now this is not my copy, this is Dad's copy, and of course this ticket was his when he saw it when it came out. You can kind of see it a bit. Pretty good stuff. A secluded cabin, an ancient curse, and an unrelenting evil. The original producers reunite to present a genuinely terrifying reimagining of their original horror masterpiece. 5 young friends have found the mysterious and fiercely powerful Book of the Dead. Unable to resist its temptation, they release a violent demon on a bloodthirsty quest to possess them all. Who will be left to fight for their survival and defeat this unearthly force of murderous carnage? Now, this would be like, reimagining, etc. I guess the director, Fede Alvarez, was saying this is more of like a remake, requel kind of thing. I guess requel, because it takes place 30 years later, but it's a bit different, whatever. I don't like thinking of it like that. I like thinking of it, plus I'm not even sure how true that is. I like the idea more of, there's like the 3 books, so there's like the 3 timelines. There's the Evil Dead to Army of Darkness book, there's the Evil Dead book, and then there's the new book, which starts off with a Rise, and then it's going to continue with Burn, and if they make another one, then that too, I think. Pretty soon, they're going to have their own multiverse. Oh, that'd be so weird. The movie's about an hour and 30 minutes long. It's rated R, of course. Fede Alvarez. I think I said it really good the first time, and the second time I just said it was pretty Alvarez, whatever. Him, he's made some movies. He made Alien Romulus. He made Don't Breathe. Wait. Yeah, he did those. He also wrote some other stuff. He wrote Alien and Don't Breathe, but he also wrote Don't Breathe 2 and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The 22 one. The one, but it's like, that's interesting. He wrote or helped write that one. That's interesting. The composer was Roque Banos. He's done some stuff as well. He composed Don't Breathe 2, Don't Breathe, Come Play, In the Heart of the Sea. That was kind of interesting, because that's In the Heart of the Sea is not a horror movie, but it's a Moby Dick movie. So that was interesting, seeing that he did that. Jane Levi plays Mia. Shiloh Fernandez plays David. Lou Taylor Pucci plays Eric. Jessica Lucas plays Olivia, and Elizabeth Blackmore plays Natalie. Those are your 5 friends. Now let's get into the story and all that fun stuff. The movie. Let's get into the movie. IMDb has this movie at 6.5 out of 10 out of over 200,000 people voted on that. I think something I want to start doing is give the titles of reviews, of user reviews on a IMDb, to kind of give the idea of what a 1, what a 5, and what a 10 out of 10 would be. So 3, and it's gonna try to be 1 to 3 of each. This is it's 3 of each. So for the 1s out of 10s, a several $million movie pretending to be low budget. Garbage. No offense to the stuff that fills trash cans. Speaking of souls, this film has none. Yikes. What about the 5 out of 10s? When gore becomes boring. Gore is its only calling card. It's good, but not worth a second viewing. Now, what did the 10 out of 10 say? Excellent reimagining of a classic. Being a huge fan, it's an enormous pleasure to watch. I'm honestly baffled by all the bad reviews. So, let's get into the movie, shall we? What I think about it. The story is a 4 out of 5 for me, and it being a remake of the original, it probably would have been lower if it was the verbatim same story. Like, it would have been like a 3 if it was the same thing. And it kind of is, but there's more of a reason. There's more excuses, I guess, for why the characters are there, why why they stay. And it's not see, in the original, it's like just 5 friends going to this cabin to hang out for like a day or two, right? Or that was, whatever. They're just going there to hang out. But in this, it's more of a... Mia has a drug problem, and this is her rehabilitation program kind of thing. And they're gonna, like, force her to stay there. To, like... What's it called? There's a term... When, like, they're gonna try to make her not want to, like, take the drugs anymore, and she's, she's wanting to, have the drugs because, it's like on the tip of my tongue. Anyway. And then later on, when things start kind of getting or a little more like, okay, this is getting weird, they're gonna try to go... Oh, well, no, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I was kind of like thinking of 2 different things. Just the whole starting to notice small things, but they're staying there because, oh, well, she's just making excuses because, if you were, really addicted to something and now you're just off of it and you can't get any of it and you really want it, but you can't, whatever, you're gonna start kind of losing your marbles a bit. Which kind of reminds me, it would have been really interesting. Because as I said when I was reviewing the first one, it would be a really interesting idea if you made an Evil Dead movie, except it's just psychological. And there's a bunch of effects and whatnot, but when it's all said and when it's all done, if there was like a sequel, it would be like a psychological sequel that takes place at like a mental place, and it's like, you killed 4 people, and they were your friends. Wait, but they were possessed. There's no evidence of that kind of thing. And it's like, were you actually crazy? Was it all in your head kind of thing? That would be really interesting. But I think the only way something like that would happen is if you just kind of just did that yourself. Which, hey, maybe that's something I'll do or try to do. But, find that time right. The characters are a 4 out of 5. Very similar to why the story is a 4 out of 5. The whole idea of, like, there's a little more to them than just them. There's more inside of them than not, as you would see if you watch the movie. There's clearly a lot of things inside of them, but yeah, I liked that, and the whole movie is kind of like a whole, this movie is like about addiction and like letting go of that. So it's nice kind of having that kind of different feel, I guess. That kind of a moral of the story, although it's not really a moral. It's just, I don't know, the lesson you learned or whatever. But it's the same thing. It's that kind of thing. I like how it's, talking about that. The music is a 3 out of 5. It's the same thing with the first Evil Dead, where, like, there's moments where, like, the music is interesting, but then, like, music's like, okay, anyway. The setting is a 3 out of 5. That one's only because it's the same place. It's the cabin, right? It's like that, gets a little boring, I guess. And you're like, oh, we're back at the cabin. Maybe it'd be different if there was like a specific, like, if they made another one and it takes place at a cabin, there has to be a specific reason why they're there, and not just because, some storyline reason that's like, we're at the, clean house kind of thing, and not just, oh, we're here to party, or hey, we're, right? And the effects is a 5 out of 5 for me. Because the effects were just really good in this, and as people would say, this movie's like, really gory, and they're right. I I liked the ending a bit too, but there would definitely be a more better ending. Certainly would have been a much better ending. I don't know if I want to say what that ending would be. I guess I could. See, the perfect ending would be if, because there's like the boss fight at the very end, the final girl versus the demon, and then the girl wins. What would have been a really great ending, because it would have been really interesting for like the sequel if they made one, would be that a portal opens up very similar to Evil Dead 2, and she gets sucked through it. She gets sucked through the portal, and the portal is still open, and then like Ash comes out of the portal, and he's like, groovy or whatever. Now, you know, he's technically in the post-credit scene or whatever, just like he comes out of nowhere and he says groovy, I think. But it's like, okay. But yeah, it would have been really it would have been interesting though if it was that ending, because then like they could make that sequel and it could be like an Army of Darkness remake, except it's Mia instead. In which, you know, thinking about how a lot of stuff nowadays is a lot of like pro girl boss kind of thing, and this was like 2013, I guess I'm kind of shocked they didn't go in that direction. I'm sure if the Evil Dead remake was made in like 2016, 2018, there's a really good chance that actually is how the movie ends, just so that the sequel is girl boss kind of thing. Which, who knows if that would have been cool or not, but I don't know, probably would have been a little weird. But I'm just kind of surprised they didn't do that, because of how, right? So, ultimately, the movie is a 3.8 out of 5 for me. Pretty good, pretty solid. Am I going to watch this movie again? Maybe, but like not like tomorrow. No. Like, it's kind of like how that one 5 out of 10 says it's good, but not worth a second viewing. And when it's like, okay, cool, what's it take to meet that second viewing? You know, it's gotta be something really good. And it's like, am I gonna watch this movie again? Maybe, but like sometime from now, and there probably would be more of a specific reason, or maybe like it's like a movie date or whatever. But, or like if you did a marathon, I guess you could do that. But, apart from that, I don't see it. So, I'm Sam, Flying Kite. This is The Horror Show, week 22, and I did the Evil Dead remake. See, I would just do that, but then it's like, it's just the reflection. So, like, do it like that, and, like, you know, you can see it still and whatnot. Anyway, I will see you next week for the last installment, so far, of the Evil Dead movies with Evil Dead Rise. I'll see you then. Goodbye.